Welcome to the Sivan Law Podcast, based in France. A place where law, business and economic reality come together. Sivan Law is a French law firm with both national and international practice, specializing in tax law, business law and immigration law. The firm is also QualiOP certified, recognizing the quality of its legal training activities. The firm's managing partner is Maître Fouan Cauliac. The topic of today's episode is family gifts for the purchase of a new home. Is it really possible to transfer up to €463,730 to the same child without paying gift tax? And above all, how should we understand the deadline of 31 December 2026? Part 1. What is this measure about? Since 15 February 2025, the French Finance Act has introduced a temporary gift tax exemption. This measure was established by Article 19 of Finance Act No. 2025-127 of 14 February 2025 and is now codified in Article 790 bis of the French General Tax Code, Code Général des Impôts. In practical terms, a parent, grandparent or great-grandparent may give up to €100,000 to the same child or descendant free of gift tax. These exemptions may be combined between several donors, up to an overall limit of €300,000 per beneficiary. The scheme expires on 31 December 2026. After that date, the ordinary gift tax rules will once again apply, unless Parliament decides otherwise. By combining the ordinary tax allowances, the exemption for family cash gifts and the new temporary exemption introduced by the 2025 Finance Act, two parents may, provided that all statutory conditions are satisfied, transfer up to €463,730 to the same child without any gift tax. This amount may be even higher where other family members, particularly grandparents, also make use of their own available tax exemptions. Part 2. Conditions that must be met. Such a significant tax benefit is not granted without conditions. The law establishes a strict framework, and every requirement must be respected in order to preserve the exemption. First, the purpose of the funds. The gifted money must be used either to purchase a newly built home or a property purchased off-plan (VIFA) intended to become the recipient's principal residence, or to finance energy or renovation works eligible under the MaPrimeRénov' scheme. Second, the time limit. The funds must be used within 6 months of the gift. When purchasing an off-plan property involving several stage payments, careful planning of the payment schedule is essential. This is precisely the type of transaction we help our clients structure securely. Third, the holding period. The property must remain the principal residence of either the beneficiary or a tenant for at least 5 years. Although this scheme is particularly generous, it is also subject to strict oversight by the French tax authorities, whose official guidance has been published in the Official Bulletin of Public Finances, BOFUP. Any error regarding the form of the gift, the applicable deadlines, the use of the funds or the nature of the property acquired may result in the loss of the exemption, together with an additional tax assessment and, where applicable, late payment interest. Given these requirements, it is always better to plan ahead than to correct mistakes afterwards. This is why we strongly recommend securing the transaction with professional legal assistance. Ensuring proper tax filings, coordinating the various available exemptions and allowances, and taking into account any future legislative or administrative developments. It is worth noting that several amendments have been proposed during recent budget debates to extend the scope of this exemption, particularly to certain purchases of existing residential property. To date, however, none of these proposals has been enacted into law, and they are therefore not currently in force. The principal legal sources governing this scheme are Articles 779, 790G and 790 bis of the French General Tax Code, together with the official guidance published in the Official Bulletin of Public Finances, BOFUP, which provides detailed rules on the application of the exemption. Thank you for listening. We hope you found this analysis useful. You can find our podcast Access to Law on major podcast platforms, on YouTube, or by visiting our website at www.sivanlaw.com. This podcast is intended solely for educational and informational purposes. It does not constitute legal advice and is not a substitute for an individual legal consultation. The information presented is based on the legislation in force as of the date this episode was recorded. All intellectual property rights are reserved. Thank you for listening, and we look forward to welcoming you again in the next Sivan Law podcast.